on together the City of Franklin Quarry Monitoring Committee meeting for January 25th, Tuesday, January 25th. It is 6:01 p.m. Staff planner, would you?
Alderwoman Kristen Wilhelm.
Here.
Member Fred Knoepel is absent. Member Fred Knoepel is absent. Alderman Mike Barber.
Here.
Member Jonathan Haken.
Here.
Member Dina Swanson.
Hello. Stand, say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Love the minutes. Do we have any input, items, corrections?
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion. John, you want to second that?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Hearing no opposed, motion carries. Citizen comment period. Citizen comment period. We don't have anyone in the audience at the time. So we'll move on to hearings. We have no hearings. Business item 5. Quarterly presentation by Stanta Consulting Services, fourth quarter of the calendar year 2021, October, November, December, and they are with us online on Zoom this evening. So whoever would like to start off on that. Can you hear us okay?
Can you hear us? Clint's
there.
Clint's Mike.
Oh, Kristen.
Not very well.
Okay. I claim.
I can hear Mike better. Kristen, I'm getting about every fifth word from her.
Okay, well, I'm pretty far away. He's moving it closer. Is that better?
I can hear you a little better now, Kristen.
Okay. All right. Well, we moved to business item A, which is your item. So if you'd like to give the presentation.
Okay. I'm going to try and share my screen. I'm not as adept at doing it. Just pulling up the meeting packet and going over the report for fourth quarter. There weren't any visual observation events in fourth quarter. We completed the last in September, and we'll resume them again in the spring. There were a total of 20 blast events in October through the end of December. This time, all of the events were captured by the Stantec as well as the quarry fitters. All of the blast events were below the maximum permissible vibration and air overpressure reading. So that was all fine. For the blast complaints themselves, we had 8 formal complaints. One that was informally submitted. It was a phone call from a former Quarry Monitoring Committee member, and I'll get into that in a moment. Quarters that we haven't had a complaint about dust in quite some time, and there was one complaint about dust this quarter. The rest of the complaints were about noise and mostly vibration. Like I stated, one of the complaints was from a former Quarry Monitoring Committee member, and she stated anecdotally that she received 9 calls from neighbors about that blast, and she directed the callers to contact the city or their older person to make them formal complaints, and we really can't tell if that did or did not happen. There were at least 2 complaints for that blast. This quarter, out of the 8 that requested confidentiality because we weren't able to locate them, we had 4 households complain once each, 2 households complained 2 times. All the blasts corresponded to all the complaints corresponded corresponded to actual blast events. For the ones that we were able to identify the location, all of the complaints were from south of Drexel Avenue, which is fairly typical. Weather was variable for all of the blasts, so there's no real correlation on that. And of the blasts with complaints, one was in the northern area of the Quarry, and the rest were in the southern area of the Quarry. And I'm going to scroll down to the map so you can see where the blasts were. I think this is probably the most meaningful visual for you guys. And as you can see, we had one blast up in the northern portion. That was for a blast that requested a complaint that requested confidentiality, so we don't know where that complaint came from. The other blasts that did have complaints were all in the southern part of the Quarry, and they corresponded to properties just south of the Quarry. One question I wanted to pose to the committee was from the GIS person that does the graphics for the Quarry. Would it make sense to zoom in a little closer, or do we want to have the larger visual representation for the whole area? Like right now, we never get any complaints over on the west side of the Quarry. Didn't know if it made sense to kind of zoom in a little tighter to give you a little bit more visual
I would say,
vision on some of those things, or just the big picture is what you want.
Kristen, this is Chair Wilhelm, and my opinion would be yes. The other thing that I had a request from, which I'm just remembered right now, was people said the map you're using does not even show the roundabout, and that's been in there for 3 years now, 4. And so they requested a more.
The aerial photo, I can ask them. The aerial photo, I can ask them. We get them off of a GIS Esri database, and I can see if they can update that.
Okay.
And see if there's a more.
We have a 2020 aerial image, Kristen, if you need it. This is regular.
Okay, and I don't know how it fits into their the system that they use for it, but I might have Andy reach out to you. I'll probably send a note to you, Regulo, and bring in Andy Swain, who's our GIS person on this, and see if we can get something a little bit more current for that.
Sure.
Okay, how's that? The rest of the committee members, are you okay with closer?
Yeah, if you zoom in a little bit and rotate the picture 90 degrees, I think you can still get it on one page.
Okay. I will work with Andy to do that.
Okay. Kristen, how did the complaints compare about the number to last quarter?
I think it's fairly similar. We haven't had, last year we seemed to have a lot more complaints. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for just a second so I can pull up the file and I can get a more accurate answer for you, Kristen.
Okay. Alderman Barber, did you have something while she's looking for that?
I was just wondering if how far they're going to come in towards 68th. I'd like to keep a few houses in the visual of just beyond 68th, just in case there is something there. I don't know how much they're going to crop it or to what extent.
Well, I guess they can change the map if they get something there.
No, that's fun. I'm just thinking that there might be an occasion rarely because there's mining on the other side, but something might happen. We would get a measuring.
This quarter we had a total of 20 blasts and 8 complaints. Last quarter there was a total of 26 blasts and 7 complaints. Second quarter, 25 blasts, 9 complaints. 9 complaints. In first quarter, there were only 9 blasts and a total of 7 complaints.
Wow.
So, with the exception of first quarter of last year, which is usually the slowest quarter, it appears, you know, the total number of blast events was somewhere in the 20s, and we had 7 to 9 complaints on average per quarter.
Did you notice anything between, it sounds like 9 complaints on that one time, almost every one of them got a complaint. Was there something different?
That was total complaints, not, most of them, I think most of them, I'm just looking at I think there were only a handful that had 2 and 3 complaints. Most of the blasts were a single complaint per blast event.
I thought I heard you say,
for the quarter,
yeah,
on it, there were averaging between 20 and 20, let's see, 20 and 26 blast events per quarter,
right?
and total complaints per quarter for second, third, and fourth quarters was 9, 7, and 8 complaints for each quarter.
Has anybody ever looked?
So kind of similar.
Barbara.
Are they the same people that you can identify that call in for every blast? That would be, not every blast, but if there's 8, 7, 9 in a quarter, are they all the same people that are calling in for different blast levels at different areas of the quarry? I mean, is it someone that if they hear something,
We're comparing it on a basis if the same address is complaining multiple times. I haven't done that lookup for the entire year.
I was just running it across 4 quarters. What would that be?
I haven't done it across quarters. I just did it during the quarter. And generally, there's one or two that'll complain multiple times each quarter.
I suspect that there's some people that will call in. I don't know the number. That's why I'm kind of curious.
You're right.
About
And
they'll call
like I said,
in whenever they hear
this quarter we did have 2 that requested confidentiality, so we don't know the address.
Just for information, Alderman Barber, when we receive a call, I take the information and I place the information in the spreadsheet that we send to. And we mark that as an official claim. It's just a call.
Sure.
So.
And I would guess that the reason why you're getting multiple from one area, it's probably they're being affected more, not necessarily they're complaining more, it's just they're calling because they're being affected. So it's hard, it could be both, but, you know, I just didn't want to try to target anyone because they
I'm just wondering if there is that pattern.
Yeah.
Where they at, they would just call in anyway.
There are some addresses that I see more often than not in any given quarter. But like I said, I didn't do a comparison across all 4 quarters. I just do it during the 3 months of each quarter.
And those addresses that call more often, are they also the ones that are the closest?
Well, you can see,
You can't see the map.
and this time we didn't have, if an address complains more than once, they'll have the colored triangle in close proximity to each other on the map.
Kristen, this is regular. Could you please share the map again?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Just 1 second. Gotta get the right screen up.
That's where cropping I didn't know that was better.
Yeah.
Well, my concern is too close and then you start targeting people, you know, oh, look at that.
Right. So, you know, my guess is that these 2 here, just under the D, those 2 symbols are close proximity to each other. Those probably were from the same address. And that's one of the reasons I kind of like not being zoomed in super tight, because then you can't tell exactly which residence it is.
Yeah, you probably have a good point there. We don't want to, flagging
Yeah.
individuals.
It gives you an idea, is it the northern part of a certain block, the southern part of a block.
Well, could you maybe leave the complaints a little further out and enlarge the quarry blasting area so that's clear? Because those aren't complaints, that's just blast areas.
Right.
So,
We can talk to Andy. We might be able to orient, since most of right now we've got it on a landscape view where we've got more going to right. If we orient the map, turn it 90 degrees,
yeah.
we might be able to make it a little bit bigger, but we wouldn't be showing as much to the east and west of the quarry, but we generally haven't had to put as much of the symbols out there for complaints too. So I think we might be able to get you a little bigger picture.
Well, maybe the simple solution is bigger pictures, smaller dots that maybe don't have to be exactly,
Right.
general area maybe.
Yeah.
All right.
We can work with Andy and see what we can do.
Okay.
Give us the data we want for the approximate locations while still giving the residents of the area some sense of we're not singling anybody out, but we're showing the general location of where the complaint was.
Just, both Alderman Barber and I have another meeting coming up in about 12 minutes.
Yep, I know.
Okay, all right. Go on, I guess. Anything else?
The next item, the
Did you completed all that one?
Yeah, it's just additional information from that is not covering the quarterly report. So anything in 2022. Basically, we have not received any complaints this year. So, and I have the data until January 13th, but we have not received complaints.
That's about 2 or 3 blasts in that period.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, 2.
So are we ready to move on to B then?
Oh, this is B.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Review and discussion on matters pertaining to citizen complaints, blasting data from Keene and Nolan. So let's, are you going to present that?
I already did.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it? That's all you had though?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Kristen, did you have anything else to add or any questions? Off already? Oh.
I had an update from Mike Rosnowski that we have not moved the meter yet that was discussed during the last meeting because we're waiting for permission from the property owner to access the site. So.
Yep. This is regular. We sent a letter, property owner. We're waiting for the phones.
Okay.
Okay, that's good. All right. So I guess that's it. Okay.
Oh, to adjourn?
Well, we have
next
to have
date.
meetings
Oh.
scheduled.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we were going to do every other. So we would be March. So, regularly, did you have a chance to look at the March calendar at all and see what that? Oh. What is TC in red?
That's technology.
Oh. So it looks like I don't see the library board on here. That's one I sit on. That's one I sit on.
Yeah, it's not there.
Yeah. Alderman Barber, which one do you have? If we look at the last week in March or the second to last week in March, you're not on East.
March.
Yeah, well, we usually do it the last.
29th is available.
Oh, 29th work for you? Okay, let's do the 29th.
29.
Can I keep this regular?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. The next meeting is tentatively set for March 29th at 6 o'clock. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Oh.
Okay, second, we are, all those in favor?